And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Transport Fever. All right, one thing I noticed is food in the north was at about 40%, and we had quite a bit of food sitting over here. So I added some trucks to the food line. I didn't add my special truck just because it probably would have broke everything. So I just added some regular trucks and moved that throughput a little bit more consistently. And yeah, we're already seeing a rise in the amount of food over here, so that's good because this stop where it's dropping it off, I mean it covers way more than 40% of the commercial spaces, so we're good on that. How are we doing on people in general? Oh yeah, so not making any money, but that's fine. I'm not too concerned with it. Help move those people around and build up just more things. The other thing I've done is basically replaced all of my passenger lines with the top tier of flirt vehicle, and so they all have they're all that 500 capacity now, just because we were seeing quite a lot. Yeah, we're still seeing quite a lot of people here, so yeah, having that extra capacity, I mean, look at that via south. It's amazing how many people are using this hub. Adding more trains, I mean, some people have suggested adding more trains to these. Adding more trains would help ever so slightly. You don't want to pack too many trains on a line because they start backing up against one another, and it does nobody any good to do that. Because like this one we've got going west, well, here's another one coming right in behind it, and if we had more trains, that would exacerbate that problem. So yeah, we're running pretty efficiently. I mean, not the best, but we're doing pretty good. And goods are doing really well. They're just rocking it here. We've got tons of production. Now we're short on planks, so I've been kind of tweaking around with this setup over here. I've increased the capacity of my log delivery up to 600, and we seem to be doing okay. We're pretty much filling every train that's coming through here. But again, if you push it too far, you'll get these line usage. These will break off into no, and it won't deliver something for an entire month. So you have a lot of trains moving, but nothing moving with them for a whole month until until it updates. So you want to sort of find a balance between raw production and supply. Whereas if you overdo like supply, you'll have this thing breaking off and being like, nope, we're not going to do that. If it proves to be not enough, like if I go over here and look at details, okay, planks 6,600. This does fluctuate with how much it's given, but as long as our production over here, so you can see 6,900 versus demand of 6,600. So there really wouldn't be much point in rapidly expanding the supply lines here, because we're already pretty much supplying everything that we need. So it's time to move on to bigger and better things, namely the last two materials. Tools and machines are the last two that we want to beef up here. and we're going to need steel and plastic. Well, we've already got plastic run. If we look at this, we've actually already got 2 double-tracked lines feeding off of plastic. So that will bump, plastic will bump up significantly when that time comes. And we've got already the production to handle that. And if we go down the line here, this thing is already up. Like, we are primed and set for pretty much doubling the amount of plastic that we're demanding. Because if we go into each one of these cities, the machines is what uses the plastic. Well, yeah, we're going to rapidly increase how much plastic that we have or need. So one thing I want to do, we have basically 4 tracks down here. I want to leave those 2 for potential. I want to maybe use those 2 for supplying the Eastish and Far East. So those 2 on the edge there, those are sort of taken. These 4 here, well, we can maybe use those to route elsewhere, like, having one of these come up and swoop into this area for specifically for tools. No, this would be machines for this one, and then tools goes into this one. And we have lots of ability there to scoop those in. So what do we need? We need steel. So let's look at routing some steel, and we want a minimum of 2 tracks for this, because this is going to rapidly increase because both of these are going to use steel. So we may even want 4 track for steel use. Well, that leaves 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We got plenty. We got plenty of track for steel usage. So let's try to find our steel mill here. There it is. And we're going to make steel up by the northeast. Northeast is going to be our steel hub over here. And let's see if we can do this well. How far away do I want to be? Right about in here, I think, is going to be good. Granted, we don't need to move steel into the northeast. This is not a good that is desperately needed in any city at all. So I'm not gonna worry too much about how that works. I will maybe connect it up just because. Just because it kind of looks cool, and cities, we can pretend there are people that go to work in the steel mill. So in the steel mill, we need both iron ore and coal to produce steel. Now, here is where it gets a little tricky. The recipe is either 1 steel to produce, from one of those, or you can produce 2 steel and a slag. Okay, the 2 steel and a slag. So you can double the output of this machine or of this factory if you do something with the slag. And what can you do with the slag? Well, the only use I know that it has is in the construction materials. So we could either convert our construction materials to use slag, and that would require a lot of track to bring the slag down, or we can just make 1 steel at a time with it, which I'm thinking we're going to use just the 1 steel. If I would have done this a little better, I could have used the slag way down here, but I think it's just too far away, and to get a consistent amount, because we're pushing you know, 6,000-7,000 stone in here. To actually get that much slag, we would need to make basically 12 to 14,000 steel for that, and I'm sure that we are going to do that, but the logistics around it are just horrendous. So we're going to go with one of these guys, and yes, we are on a new recording session. So number of tracks, we want at least, we're going to go with 16 tracks, and we're going to go let's do 120 plus 200. I don't know if we need to do, I wish there was a way to do this. Let's maybe go 80. Let's shorten it up just a little bit. I've been doing way too long of stations, and that's slowed our production down. So obviously we're going to have a high speed. Main street connection, that's fine. Platform spacing is fine. Curve, well, I'm really not anticipating needing a curve of any kind. So we're gonna do country new, medium, 50. Let's do large, just to keep with that there. And show station building. We don't need a station and building on there. We don't need a pedestrian tunnel. We don't need underground track. I think that is good. Let's hook that up. And we're going to name this thing Steely. So we are primed for production of the steel mill here. And of course we have, interesting that there's 250, so it splits. Normally it starts at 500, but it looks like it splits that in half for each one of those. And again, my experience, unless they've fixed this, you need to get both of these productions up in order for the thing to upgrade. So you really need, you know, you can't specialize this factory unless they've changed it. And I don't think they have, but at least nothing I've seen in any patch notes indicates that. Because I've tried before to just maybe, like, just make tools out of one and just make machines out of the other. And they don't ever upgrade because you need both of those. Okay, so the other thing we're going to need is a coal mine. So let's put that up. Let's put that way over here. This is coal country over here. So we're going to put the coal mine way over here. Okay, and we're going to put the iron, where did it go? Iron ore mine. Try to keep these equidistant from one another. I have in the past, I think in the last series I did, I put them together. And I pulled coal and iron out of the same thing. But we're going to go separate. I want to see a bunch of trains moving and shaking. So, let's see. We're going to put iron down over here. Okay, I want 4-track going up to coal country. And I want 4-track all doubled. So 4-track doubled going to iron ore country here. So we're going to drop this to 8-track. Let's get some roads out here. Just to, I don't like squishing things right up close. It never does any good doing that. Okay, So, let's see. This is going to be, I want this to sort of angle like this. Too much curvature. Right about there. And this one over here. It's very similar. So we're going to have two loops coming right in. And it's going to be a lot of track, like obscene amounts of track. So, right like that. And the reason I'm, putting 8-track in there, I just want some expandability. Just in case, because there's going to be a lot of track coming out of here. So, I think to start, let's get this one hooked in to this side. That'll give us our main curve, like so. And then I want this one curved in right there. So that'll give us that nice curve. Okay. You can tell the game is really suffering. And now it's just a matter of doubling and running a lot of track. So this track will be doubled going this direction. This track will be doubled going this direction. So that means this one up here, this way. This one down here, this way, and then we're going to double this up. Where'd it happen? My little dealer bob. There it is. So yeah, it's a lot of track laying, and there's nothing too fancy about this track. It's not weaving in and out of anything. There's nothing really fancy going on here. So I can do the rest of these off camera, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what I'm shooting for here. No, not that. Definitely not that. So that one goes out this way. Because yeah, since we're not trying to double the amount of steel we're producing, we're going to need twice as much coal and ore, and that is not cheap to run trains along that. So we're going to expect to need to expand this pretty significantly. And yeah, there's a little bit of track laying to do here in between episodes. So this side is going to be pretty much the same as no. There we go. And then this side out like this. And then steel is going to be delivered. Again, I said I wanted 4-track. So we're going to pull this out. And we're going to go up to here. While the game lags tremendously. And I want to leave a gap here. I want to leave a little bit of space to expand. So that one there, this one here, this one here. Hey, no, go just go straight. So that leaves 2 two over here and two over here, and then the 4 here in the middle, those are going to be my steel runs. We're going to have a lot of trains moving a lot of steel. So then this one here. And then let's run a little bit of track. Just give you an idea what I'm going for here. So that is those two. And then the next two, we need to run one track like this, one track like this, and then this track needs to plug into there and then get split off. And then this track needs to combine with that track. So you can see how that all plays. And then this track will be parallel and then split off again. So I'm gonna repeat this process and try to keep all these tracks straight, because it's gonna be so much track. So the basics are done. Let's get the depots squared away. Again, we're gonna keep these separated like so, and then we want you to curve around. I kind of like this look of having all of our depots sort of fanned out like that. So that'll be the depots for all of our coal, or no, that was ore, and then this is coal. I don't necessarily want that to join. I need a little gap in there. And then this one, same thing, a little gap. And then this one, no, a little gap. So yeah, and then the steel depots can be on this side. That's why I like using these open-ended stations, because you can really easily manipulate the depots. It's a nice change. Okay, so depot here. Now, when they're all going the same direction, it's really easy to lay them, because you don't have to keep rotating them over and over and over again. Oh, where did I go? Okay, so depot. Just like so. I don't know why I like that look, but makes it look very, very busy. Like this is an important area. Whatever. It's all good. All right. So I've got some track to lay. Let me lay that in between episodes. It's just a lot of busy work. Nothing really fancy, but we'll definitely lay the supply lines on camera, because that is a whole different ball game. Especially in the cities that we have two different destinations, one for tools and one for industry. Those are two separate entities that we're going to need to figure out how it works. But yeah, we'll do all that on camera. But this sort of stuff, this is not very photogenic. All right, so that's going to have to do it for this episode, and I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.